Kiev's Odessa faced new challenges as Russia claimed to have taken over many regions around Bakhmut of Ukraine. According to reports, a fire that broke out at a substation left around 500,000 people in the dark. Power has now been restored in the critical structures in the port city, also known as the Pearl of the Black Sea. Late in the day, Ukraine's energy minister wrote on Facebook that about a third of the city will now have water, heat and lighting. Critical equipment had been damaged several times by Russian missile strikes as they burst into flames after they could no longer withstand the load. The minister further added that 31 high-powered generators were also on their way to the city, concerned that any further Russian missile or drone attacks could make matters even worse. Since October, Moscow has waged a campaign of massive missile attacks on the energy infrastructure. Moscow says the strikes aim to reduce Ukraine's ability to fight, while Kiev asserts that these attacks have no military purpose and are intended to hurt civilians. Odessa reported that practically all of the city had lost power after the latest attack, and around 500,000 people faced outages. This figure represents about half of Odessa's pre-war population of 1 million, when it was Ukraine's third largest city. The rescue work is on in Ukraine's frontline town of Donbass. The rescuers evacuated a 60-year-old man who lost his leg to shrapnel injury as shelling continues to ravage the nation. He was accompanied to a bus heading for the Kostiantynivka and also in the Donetsk region as the evacuees head for safer regions throughout. Russia claims to have taken control of several locations around Bakhmut, where its troops and mercenaries have been locked in a battle of attrition with Ukrainian forces for months. The city had a pre-war population of around 75,000. Now, President Volodymyr Zelensky has revoked the citizenship of several former influential politicians. According to Ukrainian state media, the list includes several top politicians. Ukraine has stripped a number of people of their Ukrainian citizenship and has sanctioned hundreds of Russian and Belarusian individuals and firms since the start of the Russian invasion of Ukraine. Russia and Ukraine traded almost over 200 prisoners of war in a swap announced separately by both the sides. The bodies of 2 British volunteers were also returned in the snap with the swap, and the Ukrainian president's chief of staff said that 116 Ukrainians had been returned, while Moscow's defense ministry said 63 Russian prisoners of war had been freed. President Zelensky said in a video address that since the war started, Ukraine had secured the release of 1,762 men and women from Russian captivity. Donetsk, in the Russian-controlled part of Ukraine, came under fire that left an apartment block in the city center damaged, according to reports. Several homes were severely damaged and 1 person was killed. The Russian-installed authorities blamed Ukrainian artillery for the attack, but there was no immediate Ukrainian response. WION now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the news on the move.